Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk a little bit about 3 stocks or industries to avoid or possibly short. I know everyone is talking about stocks to buy, but no, today we're talking about stocks you got to avoid. You don't want to put your money in there. You are wasting time probably if you're putting your money in there. Disclaimer, of course, you might get lucky or you might have a good choice in these industries and it works out for you. But in my opinion, most of these stocks and these industries are shorts or they are stocks you should avoid for this entire year probably. All right, let's get right into it. Stock/industry group number 1. That would be the energy industry. We're talking about stocks mostly in the oil and gas, like consumable fuels industry. So stocks like AM, even though AM has amazing earnings and has been doing better and better, their stock has gone, I think, nowhere in the last 6 months. They're just in a, it's just, stocks work a lot of times by industry groups, and AM is a good stock. It's a great stock, great company. They're doing well for themselves compared to all the other companies, but it's just in a group that is suffering right now. So I would not recommend putting your money in that stock. Now, I don't think it's really actually AM specifically. I don't think that's really a short, but it's an avoid. I don't think it's a short because it's such a good company that the price is still staying around where it's been at for the last 6 months. It's not really tanking or anything. But a lot of these stocks in the industry group of oil and consumable fuels have been just terrible. Now, there are a few that have actually still have been doing fantastic, and you could make a lot of money in them, but generally that industry is not performing well. If you blindly put your money in an industry like information technology, that would be a great idea. just any of those stocks, long run they've been doing great. I think that entire industry average is just up a ridiculous amount, like, I don't know, over the last year, probably 50% up just over the average, and some of them are up like just 100% on your money. It's just fantastic. So oil industry, that's a short or an avoid. It's just, of course, that market's probably going to rebound eventually, but you can't really predict when that's going to happen, right? If you could predict when that rebound's going to happen, I mean, we'd all be millionaires right now, right? Probably it will rebound, and probably it will do great at some point. But right now, that industry is suffering, and 6 months ago, someone was like, "Oh, I think it's due for a rebound. It's been suffering for a long time. I think I'm gonna jump in." And I was like, "How can you predict it's ready for a rebound? I'm gonna stay away from it." And 6 months later, that industry has just been doing worse and worse. It's just not a good place to be right now. There are a lot of stocks just doing amazing, like growing ridiculous rates right now. Okay, next industry. What was it? Integrated telecommunication services. Okay, that might sound like a mouthful, but companies like IDT and Verizon, those companies are, in this market, it's a pretty fast-moving market. A lot of companies are doing great. The companies in this industry are kind of suffering, Their general average for percentage increase in the year is, I think, minus 10%. So, if you just blindly put your money in these stocks, you'd be down 10% on your money. Whereas if you blindly put your money in something like, information technology, you'd be like up 50% of your money. Or, really there's like 5 or 6 industries doing great right now, and that's where you want your money. So these integrated telecommunication services and the oil industry / energy industry, I would say avoid unless you found, that one or two that's just, the outliers that are doing great. Now, I will say I am surprised right now that stocks like Verizon and IDT are not performing well, because other companies in telecommunication services which is not necessarily the same as integrated telecommunication services, right? Those are kind of two different sectors, but pretty similar, are doing really well. So like companies like Arista Networks and Light Holdings, fantastic. Growing. Light Holdings grew like 10% in a day, like a week ago, and then there was a massive shakeout that happened. If you didn't know, last Friday, and it was just terrible. So the stock kind of came down a lot, but it's kind of like a natural thing, and I'm sure I would bet a lot of money, and I am on stocks like Arista Networks and Light going up in the future here. They're just in good industries. Although I think that general market for them is suffering a little bit, there are still a ton of stocks that are doing fantastic. The average is kind of weighed down by a few doing terrible, right? Anyway, so next stock to avoid or short, Alxn. It's a biotechnology company. Now, biotechnology actually is not necessarily doing that bad or anything. And healthcare in the last, I think, 6 months here, 3 months here, last 3 months, I think healthcare really skyrocketed. And if you were in a healthcare company, you made a good amount on your money back. But this biotechnology company is like an outlier. It looks like it's topped a long time ago at maybe $300 around there, and it is just tanking. It is down to like, it was at $140 a month ago, and now it's at like $100. And just like, I don't know, last week it was around 95, so it kind of came back a little bit, but I'm just expecting that stock to continue tanking. And although it's a stock that was once worth 300, it's time, all stocks top eventually. And if if you're by chance in that stock, please put your money in something better. Anyway, it's already a 7-minute video. That's my opinion on 2 industries / sectors to avoid and 1 company to avoid or short. Now, word of warning, I wouldn't recommend really shorting any company in a bull market like we're in right now. Just saying, if I was to short or / avoid companies, it would be those. You should generally save your shorting for when the markets really turn bad, right? Right now, buying and watching your assets grow is kind of the best thing right now. Anyway, tangents aside, avoid those stocks, and peace out.